Good morning, everyone. It's Lee Henson, President, Founder of AgileDad, and it's time for today's episode of the Daily Stand-Up. So without any further ado, let's get started. It is Tuesday. What a wonderful Tuesday it is. And I wanted to talk to you about another student in class who brought up a comment that made me stop and think. We were talking about operational and organizational efficiency of teams, and we were talking about teams reaching a state of high performing. And one of these students pointed out, they said, there's no point in becoming a high performing team. And I said, what do you mean? And they said, when you become a high performing team, one of two things happens. I said, okay, I'm all ears. The first option was you get treated like a rattlesnake. Leadership discovers you and they say, I don't want one high performing team. I want 7 high performing teams. So I'm going to chop these 7 people up with a shovel and put them on different teams so that we can have 7 high performing teams. Which of course is a nightmare, because when you chop up a rattlesnake into 7 pieces, just in case you haven't done that before, the snake is dead. Just thought I'd point that out to you. The flip side of this is that sometimes when you have high performing teams, the second you discover that a team is high performing and that they're able to get work done, he says, I can work as, and this was his quote, and I love this quote. He says, I can work as hard as I possibly can, and I can solve world hunger. I can do everything I'm asked to do and then some. And what is my reward for all that hard work? More work. I'm going to say it again. What's my reward for all the hard work? More work. Because the second they discover that you're capable of doing more work, a lot of times leadership and other groups and people, they decide you're the high performing team. We're going to pile it on. Now, I got news for you. Some people say, well, that comes with additional compensation. There's no compensatory measure that allows you to pile on work and expect for people to be happy about it. I think the key here is we have to weigh the difference between the happiness and enthusiasm and excitement of our team members against what we're expecting them to accomplish in any given workday. And what I can tell you is that instead of just you're doing such a fantastic job, your team is really accomplishing things, your team's going places, so because you are, we're going to give you more work. I mean, it just sounds so crazy when I say it. It should never be that way, right? What it should be is your team is doing something, your team is going places, your team's doing fantastic. Let's give you the chance to work on something new and innovative. Let's give you the chance to shore up some of the things that we've been questioning. Let's give your team the chance to build the empire. Let's give your team, I don't know. I'm just coming up with a whole bunch of different answers. But the point is, if you see that your team is just, accelerating and doing exciting things, we need to figure out what drives them, what motivates them, and we need to make sure that we're providing them with more of those vitamins and minerals so they can continue to be successful. So the question is, are we taking the time to interview our teams to find out who they really are and what drives them? What motivates and what drives success? So I think if you understand what drives team success, that is when you're going to understand, hey, what type of reward matches the good work, right? And I think that it's a hard thing to do, because I think there's so many leaders who want to reward their teams, but they also want to get the work done. So it's one of those, it's a conundrum, because you want to give the teams that are working the work so that they can complete it, but at the same time, you don't want to overwhelm the teams that are doing the best work, or else it'll draw them down. It'll draw down morale. And the second you start to see that, then you say, well, I guess it's time to break up the team. So you break up the team. And then when you break up the band, when you break up the team, now you discover that they're not as high performing as they were before. It would have been better just to leave them alone. So I guess what I'm trying to say is sometimes culture trumps everything. And I think it's important for us to understand, when we have our head around what drives team success, and when we understand that good work shouldn't be rewarded with more work or with C4 for the team, we need to make sure that we're not blasting the team apart into pieces. We need to make sure that we're truly recognizing success and that we're rewarding success within the team with things that are meaningful to them. Try to keep it short and sweet. I know the week's cruising by. I hope that you're having an amazing week. If you have an idea for something that you'd like to hear on a daily stand-up episode, don't hesitate to reach out to us. Learn more at agiledad.com. We would love to hear your ideas for the podcast. Also, if you want to learn more about this topic or any other topic, we got lots of valuable topics on agiledad.com. We would love to have you come and visit. As always, we encourage you to stay healthy, stay well, and stay agile, my friends. Until next time, do take care.